Hello, I am Lunge the Dinosaur, and I'm running for President of the World on the Lunge Party ticket. Let us not go extinct. I'd just like to take a few minutes to follow up on my introductory speech by saying that I believe that our civilization is fatally flawed. The foundations of our civilization have crumbled and resulted in the inevitable degradation of our institutions. Therefore, our institutions of family, the most important institution, church, and state, have been fatally flawed by the foundations, the mythic foundations of our civilization. It is the myths and stories that transmit those archetypes, those symbolic representations on which we as a people build our personalities. Our culture is an extension of the self. The family is an extension of the self to understand the inner emotional needs and psychology, as well as the outer social needs. And this is reflected in our culture. And it starts with the basic building blocks of personality, and that is our cultural myths and religious beliefs. As I stated in the introduction, I believe that this is the root of the problems we are facing today. It is the devil from the tarot deck. It is one of the reasons why many people believe that the tarot is some kind of evil occult process when it's really just a psychological process that happens to tap into our collective unconscious and nothing more. Now, it is true that there is synchronicity that operates in any symbolic situation, and if you would just go with me here, you might want to begin our consideration by considering that the devil spelled backwards is the word lived. Yes, isn't that amazing? Devil spelled backwards is lived. And it is the trump card, if you will, of the devil that causes us to believe in these retrograde myths, for we have not begun to conquer our fear of death, which is at the root of all our fears, the root of violence, and the stagnation that has resulted from these retarded retrograde myths that we believe in. I would like to, as an example, share with you my feelings about this particular myth. As I stated in my introduction, I think this is very, very, very important for saving the future so that we will not go extinct. Let us not go extinct. And to do that, we must begin to repair our civilization from the very foundations before we can begin to solve some of the social, economical, and ecological problems that are threatening the future of all life on this planet. Now, here is the myth that I believe is part of the basic problem with our culture. The myth that the earth is the product of a fallen angel who felt that the creation of humanity was wrong and rebelled against God as a response to and in resentment of, and perhaps jealousy of the human race by this particular archangel, Lucifer, angel of the morning light, God's most gifted angel. I posited in my introduction that perhaps this mythic portrayal of the principles of the universe by the ancient Hebrews was flawed, and that we need to re-examine, expand, and evolve this myth to understand it in the context of our modern experience. It is my firmly held belief that humanity did not fall from grace. I do not believe that this archangel is evil and that he rebelled against God at all. I think this very gifted angel came to God and said, hey, this is great. Love you. Love your creation. I've noticed this Big Bang creation on this one level of existence and a vibrational plane of physical reality. And I thought it might be good, God, to actually take my immortal consciousness and meld it with a creature of evolution and create Homo sapiens. These would be self-aware physical beings that could in time grow from their beastly state to this sublime state of the archangels. And through cyclic lifetimes, they could populate eternity. And their experiences, their dramas, would return to you in prayers so that your refined consciousness, which exists as a singularity in the void, could be enhanced by the drama of the ages experienced by tiny sparks of that refined being sent out into physical existence. And I think God said, you know what? That's a good idea. I think I'll allow that. So graciously, this archangel, God's most gifted and beloved archangel, separated himself from his angelic powers and created the human race and the cyclic eternity on many levels of existence, of consciousness, as it evolves from ignorance to bliss. This is a much truer representation, mythically, of our human place in the cosmos. I do believe that God's response was, yes, sounds great, but I think we need to have this principle operative so that eternity does not become a boring prison. We'll have the soul forget the specifics of each lifetime and have their soul experience inform their next incarnation and allow them an accumulation of refined consciousness as they progress through the various levels of existence in an eternity of experiencing reality. This holographic universe is created to refine consciousness. It's not a rebellion, and earthly life is not a temptation to rebel against God. We are the courageous adventurers of eternity who come and go many times, not only in physical life, but in the pure life of the psychic realms within, where consciousness rests between physical existences, and that is the true reality. We exist on many levels of existence, and we do play out all possibilities throughout all times, and every lifetime has an infinite number of possibilities that we can live out. We live infinite lifetimes, and we can live out each lifetime in an infinite number of ways, an infinity within an infinity. And this is how immortality functions. Without this trump card, life indeed would be a prison. Without the sorrows, unexpected twists and turns and challenges of fate, we would grow bored with physical reality and not believe it. It is the pain and suffering and sorrow and loss that makes it real to us. Otherwise, it would just be a dream. Once we understand these concepts and put them into use to build a better culture and better, more sustainable, more equitable, more just, and more progressive and positive culture, based on this new evolution of these myths, then we can create a culture which will exist into the future and not destroy itself in war, poverty, famine, and ecological suicide. I firmly believe this. I allow you to contemplate it, and we'll see you again. Thank you for listening. I am Lunge the Dinosaur, and I'm running for president of the world on the Lunge party ticket. Let us not go extinct.